like excessive, like how much money they need, blah, 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 da, 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 da. But they take a percentage, right? So in Crawford's case, based on how much he made, I guess he would have owed $300K. So, but he's also a top earner this year in terms of purses, right? So reportedly, Crawford got $50 million. You owed $300K. So a lot of the people who are like angry is Crawford, no matter what, he beat Canelo. So he's getting photo shoots and traveling. He's on his like victory lap. So no matter what the WBC did here, it don't matter. History is this fighter from Omaha already whooped up on Canelo in a stadium. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, BOXINGEGO unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Grand opening, grand closing. It is over. Terence Bud Crawford has officially been stripped. Girl, I just want to see you strip right now, cause it's on, babe. It's over. The WBC made it very clear that Crawford is no longer their champion, and I will give you guys all the details in this video. Should be a good one. Let's get unpacked. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Wow. Terence Crawford has officially been stripped of his title. No mas. He is no longer, as a result, because you can't be undisputed unless you have all the belts. He don't have all the belts anymore. So this means Terence Crawford is no longer undisputed. Just like that. I know this may come as a shock. I'm getting everything prepared for you guys. Boom. I made this graphic stripped. Ugh. I came back like 3-2. I jumped back like 3-3. Ugh. Hit me. Terence Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford has been stripped of his WBC title at super middleweight 168 pounds for failure. But wait, there's more. This is the reason. For failure to pay or non-payment of sanctioning fees. Apparently, Crawford stiffed the WBC president and that sanctioning body, the WBC, of $300,000 from his reported $50 million purse, right? Mauricio Suleiman, president, said, quote, he forgot how he got to make $50 million. So obviously the WBC was not happy. That's probably why Terence Crawford isn't at the WBC event, while other people like former champions like Amir Khan, guys like Usyk, they're all there, but I didn't see Crawford there. Now, this is why. And then we got a bit of additional news. In addition to Terence Bud Crawford being stripped, he no longer has that WBC, man. The other news that came out of the WBC convention is now that the belt is vacant, somebody got to fight for it. So they're ordering Christian Mbili, who has, I believe, the interim version of the belt, Christian Mbili, to fight against Hamza Shiraz, who just beat Berlanga in his first fight at 168. And then the winner of that is supposed to be the mandatory for Hamza Shiraz Mbili winner, right? So that mandatory would be Lester Martinez, who coincidentally, is Crawford's stablemate. So Crawford, he's all the way out the picture. And it's all the way live. And your boy Ego is breaking the news to you real quick like. So that's where we're at. Now, there's multiple ways to look at this. I'll just give you guys my opinion. I mean, I've seen people get stripped for way worse, to be honest. I remember Demetrius Andrade got stripped by one of the sanctioned bodies at 54. And they said he was, I don't even remember the reason they gave. Maybe they said he was like too inactive or too boring. It was something weird, right? So for me, I've been in the game for years. It made me an animal. I've seen times where people got stripped for far lesser. You know what I mean? People think you only get stripped when you miss weight or fail a PED test. No, there's other reasons why you would get stripped. Henceforth, why Crawford's being stripped. Now, here's the thing. I am realistic. That's what I do. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. It's also what I do. There's going to be some people who they're going to like kick and scream and yell and be like, F the WBC and this is outrageous. How could they? Da 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 da. La da 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 da. It's the mother WBC, right? They're going to do all this talking and I can't believe it. This is outrageous. Not really. Not really. Here's why. Their belt, their rules. It's pretty much that simple. When these fighters, you can disagree because they take a percentage, right? So in Crawford's case, based on how much he made, I guess he would have owed $300K. So, but he's also a top earner this year in terms of purses, right? So reportedly Crawford got $50 million. You owed $300K. So a lot of the people who are like angry, they never made $300K before in a calendar year, right? So they're going to be outraged off rip because you're not used to dealing with that type of money to the point where you're like, oh man, I would never blah, blah, blah. This is his career. He's a pro fighter. He's a multimillionaire and he made a lot of money. And like I said, the reality is their belt, their rules. And all these fighters know to be a champion with all the sanctioning bodies for the most part, except for the ring belt. I feel like the ring is the only one I don't think they have sanctioning fees. But correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm probably not because I'm amazing at my job. But anywho, the other sanctioning bodies, the major ones, similar programs. Their belt, their rules. You want to be recognized as the WBC champion. And like, again, I've went back and forth with this, in terms of the sanction fees, because sometimes it does seem a bit egregious or like excessive, like how much money they need, blah, 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 da, 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 da. But you're paying into the lineage as well. Like Sugar Ray Leonard fought for that belt. Hagler, Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao. It's the coveted green belt. And I feel like the green belt is perhaps one of the most recognizable, if not the most recognizable. Like you've seen it in movies and stuff. And the reality is Crawford, as well as these other fighters, to hold a piece of that history and that lineage, they charging. And my thing is this, I've never heard of Crawford. Here's the thing that is a bit weird. And I'm not trying to sound like pro sanctioning body. I don't really care. If Crawford didn't feel like paying, he didn't pay it. It's done. He got stripped. It's like people, it's so funny. People try to make some things more than what it is. Here's the reality. I don't really care. I don't think Crawford is a true super middleweight. Canelo, again, he's shown signs of slippage to me well before he even fought Crawford, right? That's why he didn't want to fight David Benavidez. So I never looked at Crawford as a full-fledged, I'm going to stay up and fight Lester Martinez, maybe not him because he's your stablemate, but Mbili, Diego Pacheco, Hamza Shiraz. I didn't look at that. And they were talking about Crawford moving back down to 160. Can't make 54 necessarily, but might go to 160. But now it got interesting because Janibek just popped dirty and his fight with Lara got canceled. So is Crawford trying to fight Lara like a 41, 42-year-old at 160? Because Janibek might get stripped too. So it is what it is. But back to what I was saying. The reality is this. Their belt, their rules. You want a piece of that? You want to walk around and photo ops with their belt? You know you got to pay the sanctioning fees. The crazy thing is I've never heard about Crawford not paying sanctioning fees and being stripped. But then this is clearly your biggest paycheck you've ever done. And then now this is a time where you're like, they could strip me. But hey, if Crawford is good with it, I'm good with it. Obviously, he has his own reasons why he did it. Maybe he just wanted to stack up and he like, I'd rather keep my money. I'll buy a house or investment. I don't know. I can't really speak for another man, but it is what it is. Crawford has his reason, and maybe he's at the point in his career. He's like, I'm winding up my career. I'm trying to keep all my cash flow. But he's going to run into the same potential problem. Dang. I'm already on Google right now. Look, I just put this up. Hey, all right, Google. Hey, we already getting registered in the Google searches already. I literally just put that post up. Crazy. But anywho, Crawford, I'm sure he has his reasons why he didn't want to pay, but he might run into the same problem because he's undisputed, or he was before this happened, and he has all the belts. Now he's missing one, kind of like Usyk. Usyk, he didn't want to fight. It's the same thing. I'm glad I just thought of that. Usyk, he was supposed to fight Wardley. Wardley just beat Fabio. Wardley just knocked out Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was in line to fight Usyk, right? Fabio Wardley knocks him out. Boom, he becomes the man. He becomes the mandatory. Usyk could fight Fabio Wardley or give up that title. Usyk, for whatever reason, wasn't trying to fight Fabio Wardley right now, and now he's calling out Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who is not the mandatory, but he likes to fight. So it is what it is. So guess what? Like I've said from the beginning, their belt, their rules. All these sanctioning bodies, they can pick and choose, and to their credit, the rules are pretty known amongst boxers. They have like websites with the terms and what you have to do to make weight, and the IBF, if there's a same day rehydration, and then bypass that on a unification. All these sanctioning bodies have their rules posted. So, boxers and their teams and promoters, they know what it entails to be a champion, point blank period. Usyk didn't want to fight Fabio Wardley. That's who you're supposed to fight. Belt out of here. Fabio Wardley elevated full champion. Done. Terence Crawford, he made $50 million allegedly. He didn't want to give WBC their cut for their belt. You don't have a belt no more. It's that simple. Again, it's funny because people have an affinity for the fighters. So they're going to be like, yeah, Crawford, you did the right. But it's their belt, their rule. You knew what was going to happen if you didn't pay for it. And again, for me, the weird thing for Crawford is I've never heard about him getting stripped for failure to pay. So he wanted to pay the sanctioning fees presumably before, like when he beat Errol Spence. He vacated all his belts. He didn't get stripped for failure, non-compliance, and didn't want to pay sanctioning fees. So now on your biggest purse, why are you doing this? But for me, I don't really care. The fact is he's doing it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. But it is a bit weird because I thought Crawford had a pretty good relationship with the WBC. And you know what I mean? Why did you pick an elect for right now? I mean, there's a couple of changes in Crawford's life. He has like his baby mama and he had like 7 kids or whatever with the baby mama. And then now I don't think he's with the baby mama and they said he had a kid with somebody else. You know what I mean? So different as time moves on, people go through different things and change up certain things. So maybe he's just in that era where he's like, I'm at the end of my career. I'm trying to stack this cash. I don't care about no sanctioning fee. Because the reality is, if we're being fair and playing devil's advocate, is Crawford, no matter what, he beat Canelo. So he's getting photo shoots and traveling. He's on his like victory lap. So no matter what the WBC did here, it don't matter. History is this fighter from Omaha already whooped up on Canelo in a stadium. Period. And he was 3X undisputed. 140, 47, 68. So it don't matter. That's another reason why I don't care. Because the history is already set. Once you achieve what you achieved, as long as you don't pop dirty thereafter, there's nothing no one can do. It's already meant. It's cemented in history. And that's what it is for Terence Crawford. He already achieved it. So he don't need the belt for real, for real. He don't need any of the belts. I've seen boxers win all the belts or win a bunch of belts and then get rid of all of them. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at Crawford. And like, until you're dealing with that type of money, maybe fighters get tired of paying sanctioning fees. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like 10K or something. We're talking about he got to give up 300K to the WBC for what though? You know what I mean? Like, why? 300,000? Like, you can buy a brand new house, especially where he lives in Omaha. You could buy a brand new house, like have it built and all that for 300K. Why are you giving that to the WBC? So I ain't mad at him. I think a lot of fighters are going to get tired of sanctioning fees, especially when you have multiple ones. And like I said, the history's already set. No matter what, nobody could take that from you. You already did it. So it's just a matter if you want to keep the belt, I guess, or whatever. So it is what it is. They stripped him. And to be honest, the WBC's made a couple weird moves recently. Subriel Matias popped dirty for Osterine, and then they investigated, and they're allowing him to keep fighting Dalton Smith. What's the point of boxing doing like PED testing, clean boxing program, if you can pop dirty, have something in your system, have no justifiable explanation, and then the WBC says, all right, it's cool. You can still fight. We'll put you on probation. Bro, boxing is a joke. It just looks stupid. WBC literally has a clean boxing program. That's what it says. Clean boxing program. You had someone who was unclean, dirty, pop dirty. Subriel Matias, somebody who's claimed somebody's life in a bout before, pops dirty for the same ish Ryan Garcia was on. You dig? And they're just allowing him to continue fighting in New York. So I ask you, what's the point of clean boxing program? What's the point of VADA testing? If you do the test, find someone pop dirty and then still let him keep having their career, no fine, no embarrassment, no suspension, not make it harder for him. Again, boxing is a joke. I don't blame Crawford for not paying into this. You're paying into organizations where you have no shares in, no control over. And, you know, what if Crawford's opponent, Canelo, popped dirty again? And then they're like, oh, we know Canelo's a good guy. Let's raise the level of clenbuterol and all that. So, I don't know. I'm conflicted here. But not really, because Crawford already set history. Usyk said he the #1 pound for pound. I mean, he's a great fighter. There's no discussion about it. He's #1. He's a great fighter. He's 3X undisputed. He's at the end of his career. Who cares about a belt? You know what I mean? I will say I do like, since they did it, I do like the fight with Hamza Shiraz and Christian Billy. I think that's a great fight. And I do like the fact that Crawford is in a space of his career where he's probably going to be a bit selfish from here on out. Like, I've had a long career. I'm disciplined. I beat Canelo. So the less belts he has is probably better, because Canelo already held the division hostage by not fighting his mandatory David Benavidez, wouldn't give guys like David Morrell an opportunity. So now with Crawford undisputed, when he beat Canelo initially, right? He only fights one time a year since 2020. So you don't get to breathe new life, and only secondary belts will exist until they fight Crawford. So now that he got stripped for whatever reason, he didn't want to pay sanctioning fees or whatever, now at least super middleweight can keep moving on a little bit, right? And you can get a Christian and Billy his opportunity, which he does deserve. He fought Derevyanchenko, tough fight with Lester Martinez, you know, and Billy deserves an opportunity to be a real champion. Also, once you're accomplished and like you either accomplished or a superstar, one of the two, you don't really need belts. So Crawford is accomplished. Everybody knows he's a great fighter. He don't really need the belt. But guys like Christian and Billy do need the belt. Hamza Shiraz, he does need a belt. Or Lester Martinez, because they're at a different space of their career, still etching out their path. You know what I mean? So I like the news, because again, Crawford, I know he had the money, so that's not an issue. It's not an issue like, oh, Crawford can't come up with the funds right now. So he chose this. Crawford chose not to pay. So I'm just assuming he had a reason for doing that. And then, like I said, the division moves on since it happened. Let me know what you think. Was it fair? Was it unfair? For more boxing news and detailed unpacks where I give you guys the news, subscribe to the channel, Boxing Ego, the one and only. I'm out. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately,